There comes a moment in every life when silence speaks louder than noise, when the world grows still, and for once, you can hear the quiet war inside your own mind, not the sounds of traffic or opinions or algorithms, but the sound of your own neglected soul asking, who built this life you're living? Because every day you are laying bricks. Every choice, every belief, every reaction, they're the materials, and they're either building a sanctuary of peace or a prison of chaos. It's easy to blame the world, to point fingers at our upbringing, our enemies, our failures, the government, the economy, the weather. But Confucius once said, "When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves, Dawes. You weren't born chaotic. You inherited habits. You absorbed dysfunction. You adopted stories that told you were small or broken or powerless. And now, you wake up wondering why you can't find stillness, why joy feels so far, why no amount of noise can drown the ache inside. Because you are building a life with unconscious hands. But here's the truth no one wants to tell you. You are not a prisoner, you are the architect. You always were. The mind is the blueprint. The soul is the compass. And discipline, that is your hammer. Peace is not found. Peace is built, brick by brick, in silence, in struggle, in choice, in responsibility. And every time you choose bitterness over healing, resentment over release, impulse over intention, you reinforce the walls of your own cell. But every time you choose awareness over reaction, purpose over panic, stillness over chaos, you open a window, and through that window comes light. There is no outer war more dangerous than the inner war you refuse to fight. Not with violence, but with vision. You cannot be free until you own the truth. Peace is not given, it's earned. Earned in the morning, when you rise with clarity instead of confusion. Earned in the day, when you respond with presence instead of patterns. Earned at night, when you choose reflection over regret. The world is not your enemy. Your undisciplined thoughts are. And the only way out of the noise is through it. Through the mess. Through the fear. Through the unlearning of everything you were told you had to be. You must become a builder of your inner world, your inner code, because no success, no fame, no wealth will calm the storm inside a person who has not made peace with themselves. If your mind is a battlefield, then every thought is a soldier. Some fight for your freedom. Some fight for your downfall. Which side are you feeding? Do not confuse movement with mastery, chaos with charisma. Many people run fast toward nothing. Many people are loud while being lost. You, though, you are called to stillness, to silence that roars louder than any scream, to awareness that doesn't beg to be liked, to alignment that doesn't fracture at the first sign of struggle. Confucius taught that the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones, and so must you. The first stone, mindset, not the toxic positivity you see on timelines, not fake smiles or blind optimism, but the deep, unshakable realization that how you see the world is the world. Change your lens, change your life. Because when you believe the world is against you, it will be. When you believe you are stuck, you will be. When you believe you are broken, you will build your habits to prove it. But when you believe you are the builder, suddenly everything becomes possible. Your pain becomes brick. Your fear becomes mortar. Your lessons become tools. And slowly, with blood on your hands and purpose in your chest, you rise. You rise into a version of yourself that doesn't chase peace, but embodies it. Because belief is architecture, and if you believe you are chaos, you will live as chaos. But if you believe you are peacey, you will begin to shape your life with intention. This is the foundation. Belief, not hope, not waiting. Belief, because hope without action is a form of spiritual procrastination. And waiting is the slow death of your potential. The world will not pause for your pain. It will not wait for you to feel ready. It will not hand you peace in a box. You must build it with belief, with discipline, with clarity. Let's talk about clarity. Clarity is not just knowing what you want. It's knowing what you will no longer tolerate. It's saying, I will no longer give power to thoughts that weaken me. I will no longer entertain distractions disguised as opportunities. I will no longer follow people who walk in circles. Because when you have clarity, confusion becomes a choice. Do not let the fog of the world cloud your internal compass. Because most people are running from discomfort, from responsibility, from the stillness that would force them to face the truth. But clarity lives in stillness. It's in that moment when the noise dies down and you finally ask, what kind of life do I want to build? Not borrow, not inherit, not settle for, build. And when you find the answer, don't just dream it. Define it, map it, prioritize it, burn for it. Because clarity without direction is wasted fire. It lights nothing. It fuels no movement. But clarity with vision, that becomes your North Star. And when you have vision, distractions lose their power. You don't chase every shiny thing. You don't jump every trend. You move with purpose. You walk like a sculptor, chipping away at everything that isn't you, until what remains is art, not perfection, not a statue for the world to admire, but a life that feels like truth when you live it. And that truth is not handed down. It is carved with discipline. And so we arrive at the sharp edge of this truth. Peace demands discipline, not punishment, not self-hatred, but a sacred warrior-like devotion to the things that build you, even when they are hard. Discipline is meditation when you'd rather scroll. Discipline is rest when you'd rather overwork to feel worthy. Discipline is speaking calmly when rage begs for your voice. Discipline is holding the line when everything in you wants to run. Most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because they are inconsistent. Because they do not build, they only perform. But peace does not come from performance. It comes from practice. Quiet, repeated, deliberate practice. You don't rise in noise. You rise in the small, sacred decisions no one sees. You don't build peace on Sundays and abandon it on Mondays. You build peace like a craftsman, every day, every hour, every breath. Because discipline is the bridge between the life you want and the chaos you've accepted. Discipline is not punishment. It is devotion. Devotion to the version of you that doesn't just survive life, but designs it. That doesn't wait for perfect conditions to grow, but grows in spite of them. Like the oak that splits stone. Like the lotus that blooms in mud. You must stop looking for easier roads. Peace is not found in ease. It is found in integrity. Doing what is right for your soul, even when your body screams for comfort and your mind begs for distraction. You see, the real war is not out there. It's between who you've been and who you're becoming. And that war is fought in every unnoticed hour, every quiet morning, every difficult conversation, every time you choose restraint instead of reaction, depth instead of performance, focus instead of escape. You win peace the same way you win a mountain. One breath, one step, one painful decision at a time. But you cannot build peace on confusion. You must have vision, and you must act from it. Action is the language of the soul. You were not made to be a dreamer. You were made to be a doer. Thoughts without action are the ghosts that haunt the gifted. And so many people die full of ideas, full of art, full of purpose they never had the courage to touch. Not because they weren't capable, but because they made a habit of hiding from the weight of their own potential. But if you want peace, real peace, you must confront your own power, because your power is not what the world gave you. It's what you build with what the world could not take. Action is not always loud. It is not always glamorous. Sometimes action is sitting in the storm of your own emotions and choosing not to run. Sometimes it's writing the plan you've been avoiding. Sometimes it's deleting the shortcut you keep using to delay your greatness. And sometimes it's simply standing up and saying, I will not be a prisoner of my chaos another day. You take back your life in inches, not in announcements, not in social media declarations, in action, in presence, in movement. Because the soul does not believe what you say. It believes what you do. And if you say you want peace, but act from panic, your soul learns to mistrust you. But if you say you want peace, and you choose it, when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, when it would be easier to fall back into old stories, then your soul starts to rise. Because now it knows you're serious. Now it knows you're building. But even in the building, there must be gratitude. Gratitude is not passivity. It's not pretending everything is okay when it's not. Gratitude is clarity. The ability to see that even your pain is shaping you. That even your struggle has purpose. That every brick you lay, even the cracked ones, is a part of something sacred. You can't hate your past and build your future with it. You must thank it. You must say, you taught me. You didn't destroy me. You refined me. The grateful builder is the peaceful builder, because they understand that life is not always fair, but it is always forging. And the heat you curse today is tempering the steel you'll need tomorrow. If you want to be the architect of your peace, you must build with gratitude. You must walk through each day as if it's raw material. You must mine for wisdom in the middle of hardship. You must see your scars not as flaws, but as foundations. Because when you build with bitterness, you poison the walls. But when you build with gratitude, you create a fortress that not even the storm can shake. And make no mistake, the storm will come. Chaos is not a stranger. It is a test of what you've built, of who you've become. When the winds rise and the world gets loud again, will you crumble, or will you return to center? Will you remember who you are? Will you remember what you built in the silence? Will you remain grounded when the world begs you to panic? This is why we don't chase peace. We become peace. Because when you are peace, the storm doesn't steal you. It reveals you. But to reach that level, you must be adaptable. Rigid minds shatter, flexible minds evolve, and peace does not come from controlling every variable. It comes from mastering your response to it. Life will twist, people will fail you, plans will collapse, but you must bend, not break. Confucius said, "The green reed which bends in the wind is stronger than the mighty oak which breaks in a storm." Adaptability is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the strength to remain in motion without losing your form. It's knowing that peace isn't about a perfect path. It's about a steady heart. When you learn to pivot without panic, to adjust without losing your fire, to accept change without abandoning your character, then you are truly free. Then the world cannot shake you because your roots run deeper than circumstance. But even in your strength, you will fall, and that's where resilience is born. Resilience is not pretending you're okay. It's standing up when you're not. It's bleeding with dignity. It's saying, "I may be bruised, but I'm not broken. I may be delayed, but I'm not defeated." Because you don't just build peace once. You build it again and again and again, every time life tries to take it. And with each rebuilding, you grow stronger. You become clearer. You refine the blueprint. You reinforce the foundation. Until peace is not a place you visit. It is who you are. And through it all, you must keep learning. Because ignorance is the breeding ground of chaos. Not stupidity, willful ignorance. The refusal to look inward. The pride that keeps you from asking better questions. But a humble mind is a powerful one. When you stay curious, when you seek wisdom over validation, when you value growth over comfort, you become a master builder. You become dangerous to your old self. Because now you see every mistake as feedback, every failure as fuel, every conflict as curriculum. And with that mindset, you no longer fear life. You shape it. Because you are no longer reacting to chaos, you are designing around it. You don't live as a prisoner anymore. You live as an architect. You are the architect of your peace, or the prisoner of your chaos. A striking internal reflection on emotional and spiritual responsibility. You are the architect, not by title, but by truth. And if you don't choose the design of your life, chaos will choose it for you. If you don't define your values, the noise of the world will. If you don't set your boundaries, your peace will be auctioned off to the loudest demand. If you don't master your emotions, they will master you. You must understand, peace is not found in the silence of life. It is found in the strength of your spirit. It's not what happens when the world goes quiet. It's what happens when the world goes mad and you stay still. And stillness is not passivity. Stillness is precision. It is control. It is listening for the voice of wisdom in the middle of the screaming doubt. Stillness is presence. And presence is where your power has always lived. Most people live distracted, disconnected from their purpose, reacting to every external flame instead of tending to their inner fire. They confuse motion with meaning. They confuse escape with elevation. But all it does is build more chaos. The mind becomes a battlefield, the soul an echo chamber of what ifs and what now. But not you. Not anymore. Because you are choosing to wake up. You are choosing to take responsibility for what you build. Not just on the outside, but on the inside. You are no longer waiting for peace to arrive like a package at your door. You are not hoping the world slows down so you can breathe. You are creating the space to breathe within yourself. You are learning that peace is a daily decision, 1,000 tiny decisions, to rise when you want to sink, to speak when your fear wants silence, to forgive when bitterness feels easier, to believe in tomorrow when yesterday tried to break you. And yes, there will be days you forget. There will be days when the chaos is loud, when the fear returns, when the old patterns claw at your ankles like ghosts demanding your attention. But you will remember this. You are not your fear. You are not your failure. You are not the echo of your past. You are the builder. You are the master. You are the one who gets to decide what remains and what no longer belongs. Your emotions are not your enemy. They are the messengers, the bricks, the blueprint. Feel them, face them, then rise above them, because peace is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of alignment between what you believe, what you say, and what you do. When those three things lock into place, your inner world becomes unshakable. The storm loses its grip, the noise fades into background, and what remains is you, whole, focused, unstoppable. And if the world calls you selfish for protecting your peace, so be it. Let them misunderstand. Let them criticize. Let them call you too quiet, too intense, too intentional. They don't have to understand your blueprint. It wasn't made for them. You are not here to please the crowd. You are here to build the cathedral of your soul. Steady, sacred, unbreakable. And someday the same people who doubted you, who mocked your stillness, who didn't understand your choices, they'll come to you for peace. Because peace is magnetic. When you carry it, people feel it. When you embody it, people want to follow it. But don't build it for them. Build it for you. Because at the end of your life, it won't be the chaos you remember. It will be the moments you chose clarity over confusion. discipline over desire, love over ego. It will be the moments you stood tall in your truth. Even if your legs shook, it will be the day you finally realized you were never meant to be a prisoner. You were meant to be free. And freedom begins the moment you stop waiting for peace and start building it with your own hands. So now the question isn't, can you find peace? The real question is, will you build it? Brick by brick, day by day, even when the world tries to pull you apart, because the moment you say yes, the chaos ends and the masterpiece begins.